you happen to watch my ISWV vs Kickvic videos, you may remember me bringing up an individual named Hylian Railgun who had his deceased father used as a weapon against him by a Kickvic cocksucker, and sadly, it hasn't been the only time. But it really gets fucking infuriating when his deceased parents get brought up and shit for no fucking reason whatsoever, because they think that's some form of clever tactic to get him to be quiet. In actuality, not only does it do the opposite, but it also makes you out as a total disrespectful cunt. Seriously, anyone who does that type of shit to someone in regards to their deceased loved ones is just a gigantic prick and deserves to have their genitals curb stomped. And in this video, the person I am talking about is a guy who goes by the Twitter handle QuitTheJob00, which is actually a burner account for Blackbeard MJ, who only has 200 followers. And truth be told, I'd never be here making this video if Hylian hadn't reached out to me on Twitter and informed me about it. Because what sparked this entire thing is just... you'll be needing a brain transplant. I'll put it that way. Apparently, from what Hylian told me, Blackbeard began accusing him of being racist for hating John Boyega and Finn from the Star Wars sequels. And then from the 3 screenshots he gave me, began bringing up his parents and mocking them in an attempt to try and win the argument, which didn't seem to work out the way he had hoped, as Chained Shark called him out on his level of disrespect for the dead. For context from scrolling through what he sent me, this is what started it, a quote tweet in regard to the new director for the new Star Wars movie going forward with the movie while completely ignoring fan criticism, which is really fucking stupid, as they are the people who are paying to see it, and by ignoring their feedback, this new movie is going to be a bigger flop than the last 3 combined. Exactly like Hylian said here about how it's like a restaurant and that criticism is what caused major changes to the Sonic movie, which led to it being a major success. But as you can see, Blackbeard MJ on his burner account made this tweet, to which I have to say that none of us wanted Rey. Nobody even likes her. There is nothing really likable about her whatsoever other than she's an attractive woman. That's about it. And in regards to Rey, I remember I came across something that said Daisy Ridley cried and even blamed herself for the sequel movies doing as poorly as they did, which tons of people have stated the opposite. Maybe I saw it on Twitter. Nobody blamed Daisy for the sequel movies flopping the way they did. Daisy was not responsible for it. All she did was play a character she was cast as, and truth be told, did a really good job at it. What caused the movies to flop was the writing. It was just dog shit. In fact, out of the sequel movies, the only one really worth rewatching is The Force Awakens, as it was the least shit of the 3. The Last Jedi is basically forgettable. The only real moment in that movie that stands out to me is this scene.
Enough.
That's enough!
Do you think you got him?
Now, if we're ready to get moving, we can finish this.
Sir?
Despite being a shit film, that moment is pretty badass. And as for The Rise of Skywalker, legitimately, I barely remember fucking anything from that movie. There are a couple of things I remember, but it suffers the same issue the movie before it had, which is that it's just completely forgettable. But when I saw the story that Daisy blamed herself for the movie's failing, it genuinely upset me, and not only made me feel bad for her, but also made me want to give her a big hug. Without a doubt, nobody is blaming her for the movies being the shit shows that they are. The writing is what caused that. But getting back to Blackbeard's tweet, he also claims that we actually hate Finn when that actually isn't really the case. If it was, then you wouldn't see tons of people complaining about him not being the true main character or even a Jedi. Finn is actually a character people really liked and thought deserved better than what he was actually given. And even people who loved the sequel movies thought Finn deserved better, otherwise this wouldn't fucking exist. But as Trender points out, one of the reasons Rey was so hated is because she's a Mary Sue. In fact, Trent also provided this, which I'll allow you to pause and read, which basically breaks down why Luke Skywalker isn't a Mary Sue and Rey is. And it really isn't that fucking difficult to work out either. She's apparently so fucking good at everything. Same reason people hate She-Hulk, for basically the exact same reasons. Probably more to it than that, but that's about the gist of it. Even Hylian stated as much by quote-tweeting the post, to which Blackbeard posted this. To which I have to say makes zero fucking sense whatsoever to me. Mainly because Stormtroopers and Clone Troopers aren't the same soldiers. The Stormtroopers were trained by Clone Troopers, and the people in Stormtrooper armor was a mix of many different people from many different planets. So seeing a black Stormtrooper to me doesn't really mean dick. That being said, it also says a lot about the people that did have a go at John Boyega for being a Stormtrooper, and those people can kindly go fuck themselves. Now granted, Blackbeard also posted this, which, truth be told, not 100% sure of the relevance, and also don't 100% buy that for an instant, as there was also Lando Calrissian and Mace Windu, who were also played by black guys, as well as Jango Fett and the clones, who were played by Temuera Morrison, who is Maori. Alright, yeah. Thanks for that, Trender. Disney also hired him for diversity points, and John hated his time on it because of that fact. There was also the Chinese poster promoting the movie. Then Blackbeard goes on to try to defend his stance by using articles with fuck all reliable sources, as well as the article from CNN, which is extremely biased. It really isn't that difficult to take something someone says and take it completely out of context to spin a nice juicy clickbait story. That's what journalists do. They couldn't give a fuck about the truth. The only thing they really care about is making a juicy story that gets lots of clicks and views, which helps fill their pockets. Not all journalists, but there are those that will do that. And those of CNN are definitely a good example. Then he decides to pull a video clip of John talking about the Inquisitor from Obi-Wan Kenobi, who did receive a lot of harmful issues, but from a small group of dipshits who last saw green grass back when they were in the Twilight Zone. Seriously, when you listen to a minority of fans and brainless journalists to get your argument and act like you're in the right when you very much are not, then you are basically fucked and out. Especially when you completely leave out what the majority thought. The majority thought Finn deserved far more screen time and even deserved to be the Jedi, as well as calling out Disney for using Finn's race as a weapon. Okay, let's bring this up. When the trailer first came out, nobody knew what was actually going to happen in the movie. All people saw was it was a new Star Wars movie and people went apeshit with excitement. We even saw both Rey and Finn in the trailer and didn't really have any thoughts about it. Our thoughts and opinions didn't truly come out until after the movie released and we all went and saw it. That is where our thoughts and opinions come from, and that's also why the majority of us hate Rey. So you can probably guess how the new movie is going to do, can't you? Now, during the thread, it's basically Hylian calling Blackbeard out on his BS while Blackbeard continues having his head in the sand, or up his arse like there's even a difference at this point, and throughout reading it, I actually discovered something. Blackbeard is a closed-minded dumbass. He reminds me of all the morons that defended Suzy Lu for the crap she did back in 2019 to 2020 who refused to acknowledge her faults and believed her to be a saint when she's as much a saint as Sheldon Cooper is fun being around. Spoiler warning, he isn't. I also find this little bit interesting about Blackbeard referring to John Boyega as a black actor instead of calling him by his actual name, which he did actually do. I'll even send the same link Hylian gave me for you guys to scroll and read yourself. And Hylian also makes another very good point, which is that Blackbeard is completely ignoring John's actual life experience from statements about his time on Disney, and is instead listening and believing articles that are straight up lying and are taking things out of context and spinning a bullshit story out of it simply for fucking views and clicks. That's all these type of articles are. Hell, truth be told, you can say that about every article. They're all clickbait. What really matters is how reliable and how trusted the journalist making said article is, and also the company they are making the article for. Also, sorry, are we dealing with a grown man, or has little Jimmy's cousin gotten a hold of his dad's phone again? What the childish bullshit even is this? I thought you were trying to defend whatever the fuck nonsense you were spewing out of your mouth 2 minutes ago. Not act like a man-child and throw another hissy fit in the corner because things aren't going your way. Also, just to stoop to your level and be a hypocrite for a bit, the milkman provides more milk in 30 minutes than you ever will your entire life. Take that how you will. Even though the way I meant it kinda makes it fucking obvious. Yeah, and I'm Jackie Chan's sister's, uncle's, grandmother's, third cousin's grandson twice removed. What follows next is something that I'm not going to show you because I don't want to be responsible for you going to the doctors after washing your eyes out with bleach and toilet duck, but I'll simply say it got really fucking weird with him suddenly pretending to act like he's waifu material? Mate, Mystic's waifu material. So are Delphi, Celine, Kiara, Liv, Zoe, Stella, and Chloe. And following this, not only did his shit get labeled as spam and offensive content, but he also got shadow banned. Yay! But then he came back and continued his idiotic stance of Hylian being racist. Boo! Honestly, I don't even get how the fuck he even came to that conclusion. Either this guy really has no fucking clue what he's saying, or he's completely insane.
Oh, that's right. I forgot who I was dueling for a second.
And again, when you take pot shots at someone's deceased parents, you instantly lose the argument. And no, I don't know where this is originally from, as I could not find it. Hylian gave it to me. But it is fucking disgusting when someone does this to try and win an argument. It doesn't do you any favors. If anything, it makes you out as a massive cunt. I don't even fucking understand this. Like, what are you on about? Where is he ignoring black people? You're the one trying to run with a bullshit story from unreliable sources, whereas Hylian and others have provided what John Boyega actually said. Also, are you really gonna try and defend your stance on using Hylian's dead parents as a sort of gotcha? And I thought Goku from Team 4 Star's Dragon Ball Z Abridged was a fucking retard. Also, yeah, dude's literally labeled as spam. That's fucking funny.
Good.
Hylian then goes and straight up calls him out as Blackbeard MJ, as well as him using his phone at work, something I kinda do myself at times, albeit briefly, and straight up accuses the guy of content farming. Which, given how big this fucking thread is, yeah, I'm inclined to agree. Especially since Blackbeard, at least on this account anyways, has literally been labeled as spam. I don't even know how the fuck homophobia got added to this mess. Must have blinked and missed it. But again, Hylian isn't homophobic, nor is he racist. And you, Blackbeard, have not even been showing John Boyega's true life story about Disney's Star Wars. That's literally what caused all this shit. Hylian made a comment about Rey and how everyone thought it should have been Finn who was the main character. Blackbeard showed up and resulted in this entire thing spiraling into what I can only describe as the equivalent of smashing your head in against the wall and not against the soft bit. That's literally what started all this. And it's fucking insane. And what makes it even more insane is that Blackbeard seriously thinks he's exposing Hylian, when in reality, he's exposing himself. Literally all Blackbeard is doing in regards to his claims of Hylian being racist, homophobic, and whatever other nonsense he decides to make up, is him literally doing what corrupt journalists, like the one who worked for CNN, do, which is spin a fairy tale, and spin it so much and so far that you end up actually believing it to be truth when it's actually anything but. And you wanna know what makes it even weirder? Blackbeard's main account has 193 followers, and his Quit the Job 00 doesn't even have 100. I have more fucking followers than that, and I hardly ever even fucking post. Hylian, meanwhile, has over 1,000. And it amuses me when smaller content creators, or people with small followings on social media, decide to try and start drama with someone bigger than them, only for them to get absolutely fucking wrecked and exposed themselves. I mean, I have this playlist as a very good fucking example. And when you pull a stunt like using someone's dead parents or relatives or pets as a way to attack them, thinking that it makes you look awesome or tough, again, as I said, it makes you out as a massive cunt and as someone who quite clearly didn't get kicked in the bollocks enough.